there's time to break away from all of this crap and go out there and enjoy yourself.
You know, a lot of people liked that game because of the simplicity of it. It's not like terrible, terribly difficult to play, and you can kind of numb out and go into your nothing box.
That's the whole point of it. My mind just blanks out, and I just
yeah. Men can do that. We have the capabilities of going into our nothing box.
Yep.
I do that for about 4 or 5 hours when I'm mowing.
Yep.
Depends upon where I'm mowing or what I'm mowing. I just literally go in. But some of my best ideas are in there, so I always take my phone along with me.
No joke.
And make sure that I'm writing any notes, any ideas, any thoughts. I'm like,
a friend of mine just said to me the other day, he said he has too many important things to do. He hasn't mowed his lawn in 20 years. He has somebody else do it. I'm like, dude, I come up with some of my best ideas sitting on my riding mower.
I cannot do that, man. I need that time, and it's funny because I have to do it quite a bit where we are to get the whole thing mowed and to keep up with, especially in the springtime. Like at least once a week, I got to keep up on things, or it just gets a foot tall.
And it's rainy here all the time, so in the spring, sometimes I'm hitting it twice a week just to keep it down.
Well, so this is one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, because obviously you're an outdoors guy. You get involved in the world. I know you're self-reliant is a big component of, and self-reliance is a big component of who you are and what you are. And after having a recent conversation with Justin Brook, because he's now moved into a position to go self-reliant, and I had a really great phone call with Ron Lynch that went out this morning. By the time you're watching this, it may have been a few weeks. But and I had another great follow-up call with Mike Dillard, and all of us were talking about that self-sustainability, self-reliance. And I think that's what ended up you and I getting connected here again, was to get on and start and talk a little bit more about that and just expand on it, because our topics went, I think, for some people into the fear zone, right? I mean, because there's some of those topics that start to well, it touches on people's mentality a little bit in terms of what's real, what to be afraid of, and maybe in some instances they think we're a little bit too far off on the whatever angle they want to call us. I
try not to tread on the fringes, like the far right, far left. Listen, we're people. We got to eat. We got to have health care. We got to have a home. We got to take care of our families, and first and foremost, it's family. It's the people that we're directly responsible for. Forget your politics. Throw them away. Just throw it away. Doesn't matter.
Try to.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And turn all this stuff, not this show, turn all of it off. Turn all the noise off. Quit scrolling. They say that there's a study. I can't remember who did it. I think it might have been Harvard or Yale. I can't remember. Nearly 70% of adults with smart devices are addicted to scrolling.
I believe it, because I believe, if I remember correctly, there was something similar to that equation. I don't know if it was that much percentage, but it was quite a bit of attributed divorces that had to do with people scrolling and talking and engaging in social media. And divorces and Facebook and others were attributed to a big component of the reasons why people got divorced. If you want to save your marriage, if you want to save your mind, stop scrolling. That's basically the simple message.
And save your relationship with your children. And when you do that, you're preparing for everybody's future by producing good children. Right.
Well, there's a big component of what we're going to talk about, because I know you're a big family man, and so am I, and it's a big component of things we've discussed in the past. So let's unpack some of that stuff, Bob. What is it you do? Like, give us some insights into what you're doing right now.
Well, there's a few things I'm doing right now. I've always done copywriting and marketing campaigns for people and private coaching and stuff. And I do that. I just don't publicize it anymore. I do it privately for the most part. The Woodcraft League of America it's my legacy project. It's something I've been working on for a few years. I did it quietly for the first 2 years. Then for the next 3 years, I really put my head down and went into it. And then in 2021, I decided, okay, it's time. Now, the Woodcraft League of America was originally formulated by Ernest Thompson Seton, who started the Boy Scouts. And when he left, when he left the scouting movement 80 some years ago or whatever it was, he started the Woodcraft League of America. My great uncle Ellsworth Yeager, his name was spelled Jaeger. He did it with him. Well, when Seton died, Dr. Julie Seton, his granddaughter, sent me a letter showing that my great uncle wrote her grandmother a letter saying, "Hey, now that Chief's gone," that's what they called him. We should do something to memorialize him, like start a big program and do this big park and, have cottages and cars and continue teaching us. Well, they didn't want anything to do with it really, because that was that. She was done with it. And so it died with Seton and with my uncle. And I called Dr. Julie Seton, who is one of the founders of the Ernest Thompson Seton Institute. And I said, are you guys doing anything with this? And she's like, no, we don't have anybody that knows how to. I said, well, I'm going to do it, if that's all right with you. And they're like, yeah, okay. So I trademarked it. I started the company, and we're doing pre-launch at the Pathfinder Gathering, a big outdoors event in July 7th. And we're
Cool.
pre-launching it there. It's like a scouting organization, but it's for everybody from ages 4 to 94.
When I first heard you mention that earlier, and this is going to sound funny, and I don't mean to belittle it at all,
No.
but this is just what immediately connected to my mind was the movie Up with Russell. And he comes to the door. It's nothing to do with. I know it's nothing to do with that. Do you remember what part? He was not part of the Boy Scouts. He was part of some other kind of.
It was. Yeah, they couldn't say Boy Scouts because trademarks.
Right.
That's what it comes
Right.
down to.
It reminded me of the Woodcraft League of America. And I know that's not what it was, and I don't mean to belittle you. I
No,
just thought it was
no.
funny that was what it correlated to my mind was like a Boy Scouts alternative.
Yeah.
To homesteading life, outdoors, learning the principles
And-
of
and-
boyhood, manhood.
Yeah, and we're and it's not just for it's for everybody.
Yeah.
For us, for me especially, it was about using woodcraft skills, which is woodsman's knowledge. It doesn't mean woodworking. It's woodsman's knowledge.
Right.
Using that to foster conservation, volunteer work, entrepreneurialism, and teaching personal development.
Yeah.
And our tagline's camping with skills and purpose, your purpose. If you have a church group and you want to start your own woodcraft lodge or tribe, then that's what that's for. If you have a lesbian book club and you want to have camp outings and learn more about the outdoors and do conservation, well, that's what your purpose is. I can't define their purpose for them. So anybody that wants to start their own tribe or lodge, a lodge is kind of like the holder of many tribes, right?
Right.
A lot of people got on me because originally the Woodcraft League kind of like really focused on Native American traditions, and Seton wasn't Native American. And now today they call that appropriation, which he didn't appropriate anything. He was given permission.
See, now you're getting political. Now we got back out of that.
I know. No, I'm just being factual. But
no, you are. You are.
yeah, but what happened was somebody called me on like tribes and lodges. Isn't that Native American? I'm like, every civilization in the world had a tribe and had lodges.
It's just language
Yeah,
that defines.
they're words, right?
They're words that define an organization.
Right,
or
but
a
we're
type.
staying away from any type of. It's not my place. Like, no, if a Native American community came to me and said, "Hey, we want to start our own Woodcraft League lodge," and I'd be like, "Yeah, of course." And maybe you can teach some of our people too. That'd be awesome, right? So,
Absolutely.
so I'm not here to define anybody's purpose in that, but what I am here to do is hopefully bring communities and families and children together to learn
Purpose.
self-reliant skills, attach it to
Yeah.
their purpose, attach it to conservation and to volunteer work, and to start enhancing their own communities instead of waiting for some big superpower to swoop in and save them. So
Right.
it starts with us, and that's what a legacy. But I want this to live beyond me. I want my kids and my grandkids and everybody to have part in this for decades to come, for generations to come. And to me, I think every entrepreneur has to come to a point and they say, okay, I have these businesses. Which ones are going to live beyond me and impact the world in a positive way? Like we have the Mormon church. I'm not Mormon, but I called them up and asked them why they left the Boy Scouts of America, and they gave me a solid answer. And the guy that runs the whole thing said, hey, we want all of our people to join the Woodcraft League when you launch it.
Neat. Very cool.
500,000 people right out the gate. And that was old school, bro. I made a phone call. Cold called
Made
them.
one.
Yeah.
Cold call.
I did. I didn't make an appointment
That's
or
how
nothing.
you get her done.
Well, I just called. I didn't know who I would talk to. I just called
Sure.
and said, I'm doing research because I don't want to create a program that pushes people away. I want everybody to want to have access to it. And it's not for any one group or any one sect or religion or whatever. It's for everybody.
Yeah.
It's for humans.
Organization,
Right.
community for everybody.
Right.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
this lady says, hey, you should talk to Tom Owen, who is one of the guys that runs the Mormon church. And I said, I don't know who that is. And she goes, well, when he calls you, he has a blacklisted number. He has like security and everything. Like you can't call him. He can only call out. And I figure, okay, maybe in a few weeks this dude will call me or something. Who knows, right? No, like 10 minutes later. 10 minutes later, he was on it. Because they have tried to create an organization within their youth ministry to replace what they had with the Boy Scouts, and they just can't do it. They don't have the
Yeah,
time, the knowledge, or the know-how to put it all together. And I'd already been writing it for the past 5 years. And so
that's fantastic.
now it's
So reestablishing something from your past, your history, your legacy, your
right.
grandfather.
Yeah,
That's very
well, my
cool.
great great uncle, but
Great, great.
but the thing is this came about because my kids, it was my daughter one day. She said, how can I get involved in one of your businesses? And she was like maybe 13 at the time or something like that. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't really have anything. All my business is me, my coaching, my marketing strategy, all that stuff, the consulting, the speaking on stages. That's all me. It has to be me. Well, that sucks, right?
Yeah.
Because nobody else can. I have to be the guy doing it all the time. Not to mention, when I'm gone, it's gone. That's it. Trust me when I say my wife has read my marketing material. She has no idea what I'm talking about half the time. Neither do my kids, which is fine. But they wouldn't have a passion to carry that forward or anything. It would mean nothing to them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It
But
would be a business that's wound down or removed at
right.
some point in
And
the
then when
future.
I'm talking to my son and he's crossing over into the Boy Scout, like, look, he's 12 years old. He's going to have his eagle in the next year. He works hard at
That's
that. He
fantastic.
cares about that, right? So when I looked at him and I'm teaching him all this stuff to be more self-reliant, to serve your community, to do all these things, and he's not seeing the ways I do that because it's so private and philanthropic type stuff, like private stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I don't talk about it. It's not publicized. So he's not actively seeing me doing those things. My daughter's not actively seeing me grow something that can impact the world and contribute to things like I care about, like conservation and things like that. I'm like, I got to create something here that's going to live beyond me and let them see it while their kids watch that be developed. And then I said, well, my daughter loves art. She's amazing at it. So she's our art director. My wife is amazing with youth development programs. She was a first preschool teacher. She does community support for people with autism and things like that. So I made her our director of youth program development. My son, put him in the outdoors. He builds stuff. He makes stuff. He likes whittling. He likes using axes and stuff. So I said, okay, you're the director of camping and pioneering projects. So I'm trying to show anybody that joins the league that I'm even having my children run things. They're children. My daughter's 16. My son's 12. And I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt and saying, I believe in you. I want to teach you to be more self-reliant. I want to teach you this. But I'm also teaching them the internet marketing side of it too. Because you have to contribute that to our kids today. But show them there's time to break away from all of this crap and go out there and enjoy yourself and serve others.
Do outside, do life.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, it's so important to teach them that, and that's one of the things I know you and I resonate with a lot. I can hear my kids screaming in the pool in the background right now because they're out playing and they spend most of their day outside because mom makes sure they get outside and stay outside.
That's my son in the pool every chance he gets, man. He's out there.
Get outside
Yeah.
every chance. You got animals and chickens and ducks, as we were talking about the other day, to get out there and take care of. And there's, of course, property and chores. And they have their own garden they take care of. They take a piece of the garden every morning. They spend an hour or two out weeding the garden as part of their chores. And they love it, and they spend time together. And we're doing that as a family every day. We're building a unit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're building a unit, we're building a unit. I appreciate why you're doing those things, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted you to come on and talk about what you're doing.